Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages, and they've known mortgages for more than 30 years. FHA, VA, of course, conventional loans. They do all of that. And this is a good time to talk to them. You know, people are still buying and selling houses more than you might think, given some of the things that have been happening in the news, quite a bit more than you might think. So you want to talk to them. In fact, a lot of times, right when you're first talking to your realtor, you may also want to talk to Eagle Mortgage to get that pre-approval letter. And over the last several years, the companies like them, mortgage brokers, have been proven to give borrowers a lot better deal and save a lot of money than the traditional banks. So we recommend you call Eagle Mortgage. You can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com, or you can simply stop by the office just south of 114th and Dodge. Well, Brad, let's get into the news. The first item we have is some national publicity for a new Omaha area golf club. It's called Lost Rail Golf Club. It is opened on the eastern hills of the Elkhorn River in Gretna, and recently was featured in Golf.com's article headlined, "The six new courses, or these six new courses have us giddy for their 2023 reveals." And it just talked about how nice it is and everything else. And, you know, the thing that's kind of cool about this, Brad, is that golf in Nebraska has quite a reputation, but so much of it that is nationally respected is out in the Sandhills. You know, this is right here in the metro.
Yeah, it's great. We do have some beautiful courses in the Platte River area of eastern Nebraska, but like you said, the Sandhills are just so beautiful, and those courses get all the recognition.
Yeah, and this one would be a heck of a lot easier for people to get to.
I haven't been there, but I've driven by and I've seen some of the views from the road, and it's a beautiful place out there. Yeah,
it was very pristine, just a former cattle pasture that they converted earlier this year into this course, but it has very dramatic topography from what I understand.
100 years ago, the rail line that ran out to, I believe, Utan ran right through there, so that's where it gets its name, Lost Rail. So there's a valley down the middle, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, and if you go to their website, there's a cool story about that railroad line that kind of talks about all the politics that were involved in determining where the Burlington Northern rail track would go, and this was done basically for political reasons. It wasn't used for very long because it wasn't profitable.
No, it was one of the shortest rail lines, I mean, as far as time frame, one of the shortest ones in the state.
Well, you don't, when you think of places where everyone wants to move, you normally think of the Sun Belt, right?
Yep.
It was very interesting, though. Domino Magazine this week came out with a story entitled, "Here's Where Everyone Will Be Moving in 2023." So Domino analyzed year-over-year home sales growth across 100 metro areas in the country and came up with the projected 10 fastest growing. We're talking about 10 fastest growing where people are going to be moving. And you would think that top 10 would have a lot of Nashville, Austin, Charlotte. No, none of those are on it. Number 8, Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, that's surprising. I'm guessing, looking at the list, they did not take weather into account.
Not today.
There's some really cold weather. I mean, Buffalo, who just got, 8 feet of snow, is on the list. Omaha, where it's 11 degrees this morning, is on the list. There's just a lot of cold weather cities, which is good to see for us.
Yeah, and this is probably related to the high interest rates and the high cost of housing, and at times like this, maybe some cities that aren't the hot growing ones during good times tend to rise to the top. Like I remember during the previous big recession, 08 through 09, that era, Omaha boomed after that because a lot of the places that typically are hot aren't during downturns. We do well during downturns.
Yeah, we're a little more even keel during the economic cycles.
In case you're curious, the top 10, number 1, El Paso, Texas, 2, Columbia, South Carolina, 3, Hartford, Connecticut, 4, Buffalo, New York, 5, Little Rock, Arkansas, 6, Louisville, Kentucky, 7, Baltimore, 8, Omaha, 9, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and 10, Columbus, Ohio. Well, Brad and I want to talk a little bit about some projects that are going to be coming before the planning board next week. It's going to be a busy planning board meeting because all sorts of things are happening. And Brad, I'm just going to throw out a couple of these projects and then I'll let you elaborate on them if that's fair. The first one is called the Forever North Project. It is located near 24th and Lake Street. What do we have there?
It was a building that was demolished, and then right now it's empty. There's a little bit of parking on there. It's going to be a two four-story buildings. One of them is going to be office with some ground floor retail. That's on Lake Street, and then that's along 24th, and then along Lake there'll be a four-story multifamily building, 80 multifamily units, and have some underground parking, I believe, under the office building.
And my assumption is, and if I'm wrong, we'll say so next week, but my assumption is that's going to be North End Teleservices putting their offices there because there was some sort of news that came out earlier this year saying that North End was going to build an office near 24th and Lake area. So I would be shocked if that's not them. That company's grown pretty fast and is a big employer on the north side. Yeah,
it's a great project for the area. There's that 24th and Lake area, real nice corridor, so it's going to be a nice addition.
Okay, well, let's stay kind of on the eastern side of Omaha. And the next one's really exciting because it's going to be more growth and development on the riverfront, specifically Riverfront Place. Now, Riverfront Place would be those two condos that are right by the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge and the Gallup operational headquarters. What are they, about 12 stories?
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
12 stories. So tell us what's planned for Riverfront Place.
Well, there's always been two empty lots that have been for sale kind of on the northwest corner of that property. And now there's a five-story building proposed, have underground parking or first floor parking and then 4 stories above it. So it should be a nice addition, a few more residents down there on the riverfront.
Yeah, and I think we are only beginning to see what is potential or what is possible on the riverfront. When you look at renderings of the $300 million park rehab that is underway, people have even talked about squeezing in some multifamily buildings on the north side of Heartland of America Park. And we know that a lot of multifamily is planned for the Mercantile, which is the north side of the old ConAgra campus. So we're probably going to continue to see riverfront living options over the next several years, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it's only going to grow, and we really need to get that proposed secondary bridge built to connect the North Riverfront to the ballpark area.
Yeah, the one that some people call the Baby Bob.
Baby Bob, yeah. It's that connection. It's just such a far distance between the north end of the riverfront and then down by the Jean Leahy Mall that we really need a middle connection to get those residents into the area.
Yeah, that'll help tremendously. And now I know that's getting close, but it seems like it's been getting close for 5 years now. But I think it's getting close.
In my opinion, it should have been done when the ballpark was built.
Which is a fair point. Why didn't we? Well, we can't redo the past, but I completely agree with that. All right, let's go out west. The Antler View development is on the the southeast corner of 192nd and West Maple, and there's about a 4 or 5 story Holiday Inn Express there. DJ's Dugout, Proof. I love Proof. There's one of those here in Midtown Crossing. But now we're talking about Antler View West.
Yeah, it's going to be a very similar development. There's basically you got the corner of 192nd and Maple on the southwest corner. And right now, all they have proposed is kind of the ring road. You know, a lot of those developments have a big lot in the middle and then a ring road around them and then a lot of retail on the busy side of the ring road. And so that right now they're only showing the development on the outside of the ring road and nothing proposed for that big lot in the middle.
Okay, staying on that West Maple corridor, let's go about a mile to the east and we get to 180th Street, southeast corner. That's where Costco is coming. We've talked about that, and I know a lot of people are extremely excited about getting that third Costco, hopefully because it will relieve some pressure from the West Dodge Costco. But we're making a little progress next week on that.
Yeah, the planning board has the site plan next week, and it's pretty typical what we were expecting, big Costco in the middle, and then a bunch of outlots around the Maple and the 180th Street sides.
Next project coming before the planning board next week is 204th and the West Dodge area. On the northwest corner, there's a Menards home improvement store, and then all sorts of small businesses, fast food, that sort of thing in that area. And a lot of people, when they go through that little street that goes to the Menards and all that stuff, they're complaining about the traffic. Looks like we could have a solution to that problem.
Yeah, it's not a planning board item, but there was an RFP out by the city that they want to put a roundabout there, kind of by that Hardee's and the Dairy Queen, just to kind of relieve the traffic of that busy intersection.
And if you go further south on 204th Street and you get to the Q area, my gosh, they've been grading like crazy there. I mean, on almost every corner, there's all sorts of dirt work and groundwork going on. But on the northeast corner of 204th and Q Street, it looks like we now know at least one of the first businesses that will be going in northeast of 204th and Q.
Yeah, on the northeast is the North Streams development, and there's going to be a Christian Brothers Automotive. And then, like you said, across the street to the west, they're grading for Kensington Park, which is another big mixed-use development. There's just nonstop activity on that 204th Street corridor.
On that Kensington Park to the west, we do know that a Tommy's Express car wash is planned for that. Then on the southeast corner, there's a nice residential subdivision going in.
Yep.
And on the southwest corner is Coventry, which has been growing like crazy. Rusty Taco recently opened. A Starbucks is just about to open there.
There's the Rows at Coventry, which are under construction right now, which is a bunch of row houses. And then right by the ACX Theater, there's a whole nother development similar to that Prairie Queen development, Papillion.
Yeah, the area is just en fuego, to be sure. And it's only a matter of time before people are saying, why didn't they make 204th Street 6 lanes? It would have been nice. Or a freeway.
A freeway is what would be great.
Well, that is your news of the week, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.